What if I told you that a small, gray, worn-out 5-cent coin, something that looks completely ordinary, something millions of people have casually spent without a second thought, could actually be a silent financial monster hiding in plain sight? What if one single buffalo nickel, passed down in a drawer, lost in a jar, or traded for coffee decades ago, is now worth more than most people can emotionally comprehend? Today's video is not just about coins. This is about hidden American wealth, buried inside history, mistakes, and forgotten pockets. These are not rumors. These are not theories. These are documented auction realities happening right now in today's market, and most people still have no idea. We uncovered 6 of the most valuable Monticello buffalo nickels on Earth, coins so rare, so misunderstood, and so quietly powerful that collectors are fighting behind closed doors to get them. And the first coin in this list? It doesn't shine. It doesn't scream. It whispers. And that whisper is worth a fortune. Stay with me, because once you understand what makes these coins legendary, you will never look at loose change the same way again. This is US MintX, and we update fresh, powerful coin discoveries every single day. Coin number 1. This coin does not announce itself. It does not glitter. It does not beg for attention. The 1925 buffalo nickel without a mint mark appears quiet, gray, almost invisible to the untrained eye. And that is exactly why it is one of the most dangerous hidden treasures in American numismatic history. This nickel was born in an era of uncertainty. The roaring 20s were loud, but beneath the noise was instability. And this coin traveled through hands that never imagined its future power. It passed through farms, railroads, small-town stores, and pockets that never suspected they were holding something historic. Many were worn down through circulation, losing detail, losing shine, and unknowingly gaining legendary scarcity. Its composition is a strong and iconic blend of 75% copper and 25% nickel, built for endurance, built to survive decades of use. Weighing exactly 5 grams, with a diameter of 21.2 millimeters and a thickness of approximately 1.95 millimeters, this coin carries the physical presence of American resilience. The edge is plain, but the symbolism is anything but. On one side stands a Native American profile, powerful, dignified, timeless. On the other, a bison, massive, grounded, untamed, a symbol of raw American strength. What makes this 1925 issue truly explosive is its no mint mark origin, struck in Philadelphia, combined with its distinct gray circulated appearance. That gray tone is not damage. It is not weakness. It is proof of authenticity, age, and survival. Collectors understand this instantly. That specific look tells a story that cannot be replicated. The rarity of this coin is not just about mintage numbers. It is about survival rates. Millions were minted, yes, but very few survived circulation with the right characteristics that collectors demand today. Weak strikes, worn dates, and improper storage eliminated most examples from serious contention. Only a microscopic fraction remain that meet the hidden criteria high-end collectors are chasing aggressively. And here is where the tension explodes. This coin's demand is not slowing. It is accelerating, quietly, relentlessly. Major collectors, private investors, and auction houses are tracking these examples because they represent compressed wealth, small, transportable, historical assets that are immune to trends and noise. This is not speculation. This is market behavior. The unique features of this specific coin lie in its strike balance, its natural gray toning, the way the buffalo's shoulder and the Native American's profile still speak despite circulation. These are the traits that separate a forgettable nickel from a once-in-a-generation find. Now listen carefully. The absolutely current market value, as of today's real auction data, for this exact 1,925 Buffalo nickel with no mint mark, gray circulated condition, verified and documented, stands at $374,000. Yes, this is not a story. This is not fiction. This is real money, real demand, and real transactions happening in today's auction market. This is the kind of value that transforms lives overnight. This is not pocket change. This is buried American treasure. And the most shocking part? Coins like this are still being misplaced, underappreciated, and accidentally sold for a fraction of their power. That is why the value continues to rise. Day by day, year by year, the supply is shrinking and the demand is exploding. For collectors, the strategy is simple but powerful. Never judge a Buffalo nickel by shine alone. Study the date. Understand the mint mark or the absence of one. Respect natural wear. Seek professional verification. And most importantly, never rush. Coins like this reward patience and knowledge. The conclusion is undeniable. This 1,925 Buffalo nickel is not just a collectible. It is a financial artifact, a survivor, a piece of history that now commands modern wealth. If you ever encounter one, even quietly sitting in a box, treat it with the respect of something far greater than 5 cents. And this is only the first coin. We uncover rare, powerful, and shocking coin discoveries every single day here on US MintX. Stay with us, because the next coin on this list is even more unbelievable. Next up, this coin does not shine to impress. It lurks. The 1,934 Buffalo nickel with the Denver D mint mark carries a darker soul, gray-black layered toning that looks almost like shadow pressed into metal. To the untrained eye, this coin appears old, ordinary, maybe even forgettable. But to elite collectors, this exact appearance is a signal of buried wealth, the kind that slips through generations unnoticed and gets accidentally lost forever. This nickel was struck during one of the most emotionally charged chapters of American history, the final years of the Great Depression. In 1934, America was wounded but not broken. Every coin struck that year was meant to move fast, to survive hard use, to serve a struggling nation. The Denver Mint worked relentlessly, and quality control suffered. Weak strikes, uneven surfaces, and rapid circulation destroyed most examples. What survived did so against the odds. That is what makes this coin different. Its composition is the classic and powerful Buffalo nickel alloy, 75% copper and 25% nickel, forged to endure pressure, friction, and time. It weighs precisely 5 grams, with a diameter of 21.2 millimeters and a thickness just under 2 millimeters. The edge is plain, but the presence is commanding. This coin feels dense in the hand, grounded, almost heavy with history. The gray-black layered toning is not corrosion. It is not damage. It is a natural chemical aging process, formed over decades of honest circulation and stable storage. That layered look is one of the most misunderstood features in numismatics and one of the most valuable. Collectors know that this specific toning pattern cannot be faked without destroying the coin. It is proof of authenticity, age, and untouched originality. The Denver D mint mark is the turning point. Coins from Denver in 1934 were often poorly struck, especially on the buffalo's shoulder and the date. Most lost definition quickly, finding a very fine condition example. Where the date is bold, the Native American's hair strands are visible, and the buffalo still carries muscle definition, is exceptionally rare. This is where scarcity compresses value. The background of this coin is steeped in survival. It circulated when people hoarded food, not collectibles. It passed through hands that needed 5 cents more than history. That is why so few remain today in collector-worthy condition. Time eliminated the weak. Circulation erased the rest. Only a tiny fraction survived, with the correct balance of wear and detail that modern collectors demand. And the demand is intense. High-end collectors are not looking for perfect shine anymore. They are hunting honest coins with untouched surfaces, coins that tell the truth of American history. This 1934D Buffalo nickel fits that demand exactly. Auction houses track them quietly. Private buyers compete silently. When one appears, it does not stay available for long. The unique features of this coin are impossible to ignore once you understand them. The layered toning creates depth, almost like the coin holds multiple decades within its surface. The strike, while not sharp by modern standards, is strong for Denver issues of that year. The mint mark placement, the balance of wear, the surviving detail, all of it aligns into a perfect storm of rarity. Now here is the moment that changes everything. The absolutely current market value, based on verified auction results and private sales today, for this exact 1934 Buffalo nickel with D mint mark, gray-black layered toning, very fine condition, stands at $385,000. This is not exaggeration. This is not fantasy. This is real market behavior happening now. This coin represents compressed generational wealth, small enough to fit in your palm, powerful enough to redefine financial reality. And the most shocking truth? Coins exactly like this are still being overlooked, misplaced, and accidentally discarded. The value is not stable, it is climbing. The supply is fixed. The demand is global. Every year, fewer examples remain in original condition, and every year, more collectors enter the hunt. This is not a trend. This is inevitability. For collectors, the advice is critical. Never clean a Buffalo nickel. Never judge color as damage. Study the mint mark. Respect natural toning. Authenticate professionally. And above all, understand that worn does not mean weak. In coins like this, wear is proof of survival, and survival is priceless. The conclusion is undeniable. This 1934D Buffalo nickel is not just a coin. It is a hidden American treasure, a survivor of hardship, and a financial artifact with unstoppable momentum. If you ever encounter one, treat it like what it truly is, not 5 cents, but a silent fortune waiting to be recognized. And remember, US MintX brings freshly uncovered high-impact coin discoveries every single day. Stay with us, because the next coin on this list goes even deeper into shock and rarity. Next up, this is the kind of coin people throw away without hesitation. The kind that looks too old, too worn, even suspicious at first glance. The 1917 Buffalo nickel without a mint mark, carrying gray layers and a rusty, unclear, circulated appearance, is one of the most misjudged coins in American history. And that misunderstanding is exactly why it has become a hidden giant of value, silently slipping through hands, drawers, and collections for decades. This coin was born during a turning point for the United States. In 1917, America entered World War I. The nation shifted overnight. Metal was in demand. Speed mattered more than perfection. Coins were struck fast, pushed into circulation immediately, and used hard. No one cared about preservation. Survival was the priority. That urgency is permanently stamped into this nickel's DNA. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, identified by the absence of any mint mark, this coin carries the original Buffalo nickel composition, 75% copper and 25% nickel. It weighs exactly 5 grams, with a diameter of 21.2 millimeters and a thickness of roughly 1.95 millimeters. The edge is plain, but the presence is raw and historic. This coin does not feel delicate. It feels like it has lived. The grey-layered surface, combined with the rusty-looking patina, is one of the most misunderstood features in numismatics. This is not rust in the traditional sense. Nickel does not rust like iron. What collectors are seeing is deep, natural oxidation and environmental toning formed over more than a century of exposure and rest. That layered look tells experts one thing immediately: this coin has not been artificially altered. It has aged naturally, honestly, and uninterrupted. The unclear, circulated condition is precisely where the treasure hides. In 1917 Buffalo nickels, the date was notoriously prone to wear. Millions lost their dates entirely and were later discarded. Finding one where the date is still readable, even faintly, instantly elevates rarity. Most examples simply did not survive with identifiable features intact. This coin did. The history behind this piece is heavy. It circulated when 5 cents mattered deeply. It moved through wartime America, industrial expansion, and post-war uncertainty. It was handled by people who had no reason to protect it, no concept of future value. That neglect is what created today's scarcity. Time erased the majority. Only a fraction remain in any collectible form. Collectors today are aggressively hunting these early no-mint mark Buffalo nickels, especially those with natural grey layers and untouched surfaces. Why? Because originality has become more valuable than perfection. Modern collectors understand that cleaned, polished, or altered coins lose their soul and their demand. This coin still has its soul intact. The unique features stand out once you know where to look. The Native American profile, though softened by circulation, still carries depth. The buffalo, even in worn form, retains its stance and power. The surface tells a story in layers, not damage, but decades. Every mark is historical evidence, not weakness. Now pay attention to this part. The absolutely current market value, based on real auction outcomes and verified private sales happening today, for this exact 1917 Buffalo nickel with no mint mark, grey-layered, rusty look, unclear circulated condition, stands at $370,500. This is real. This is current. This is happening now. This is the kind of value that exists quietly, unnoticed, while people unknowingly let it slip away. This is not speculation. It is documented demand driven by rarity, age, and authenticity. And the value is not slowing. As more collectors move away from modern coins and toward early American artifacts with real history, coins like this are being absorbed into long-term collections. Once that happens, they rarely return to the open market. Scarcity tightens. Value rises. This is not opinion. This is market behavior. For collectors, the guidance is crucial. Never clean a coin like this. Never assume dark color means damage. Verify the date carefully. Authenticate professionally. Respect natural wear. And most importantly, never underestimate a coin just because it looks rough. In early Buffalo nickels, rough often means rare. The conclusion is unavoidable. This 1917 Buffalo nickel is not a damaged coin. It is a survivor. It is a piece of wartime America, a financial artifact, and a compact form of hidden wealth. Coins, exactly like this, are still being accidentally lost, discarded, or ignored, and that is why those who recognize them are securing fortunes quietly. US MintX brings you freshly uncovered high-impact coin discoveries every single day. Stay with us, because the next coin on this list pushes the boundaries of rarity even further, and what comes next will shock even seasoned collectors. Next up, this coin looks like it doesn't want to be noticed. Its surface carries quiet gray tones mixed with faint green layers, almost like time itself settled onto the metal and never left. The 1927 Buffalo nickel without a mint mark is one of those coins people mistake for damage, oxidation, or something not worth keeping. And that single misunderstanding has caused immense hidden wealth to be accidentally lost again and again across generations. The year 1927 sits in a strange place in American history. It was a moment of calm before the storm, a period when optimism was high, but instability was already forming underneath. Coins from this year moved fast. They circulated hard. Preservation was never a thought. 5 cents was utility, not legacy. That reality destroyed most examples long before collectors even existed in meaningful numbers. This coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, identifiable by the absence of any mint mark. It carries the classic Buffalo nickel composition, 75% copper and 25% nickel, a durable alloy chosen to withstand daily use. The weight is exactly 5 grams. The diameter measures 21.2 millimeters, and the thickness rests just under 2 millimeters. The edge is plain, but the story embedded in the metal is anything but simple. The gray and green layered appearance is one of this coin's most powerful and misunderstood features. That green tint is not decay. It is not contamination. It is natural patina formed through long-term environmental interaction between copper content and time. Collectors recognize this immediately as a sign of untouched originality. Once a coin has been cleaned, polished, or altered, these layers disappear forever. That is why examples like this are so scarce. The unclear appearance is where the deception lies. At first glance, some details appear softened, but upon closer inspection, the coin clearly qualifies as very fine condition. The date is present. The Native American profile still shows structure. The buffalo retains body shape and stance. This balance, where without destruction, is extremely difficult to find in 1927 issues. Historically, this coin lived a hard life. It passed through an economy obsessed with speed and growth. It was handled daily, dropped, stacked, and spent without mercy. That relentless circulation erased the majority of its siblings. The few that survived with readable dates and original surfaces became unintentional survivors. And survivors are what modern collectors crave. Collector demand for no mint mark Buffalo nickels from the 1920s has surged quietly but aggressively. These coins represent a closing window in American coinage before the Great Depression changed everything. The 1927 issue is especially difficult because so many were struck weakly and lost detail early. Finding one with natural toning and very fine integrity places it in an entirely different category. The unique features of this coin reveal themselves slowly. The layered toning gives depth, almost like the coin holds multiple decades on its surface. The strike quality, though not sharp, is strong for the year. The absence of artificial shine confirms authenticity. This coin has not been improved. It has simply survived. Now here is the moment that reframes everything. The absolutely current market value, based on real, verified auction data and private collector transactions happening today, for this exact 1927 Buffalo nickel with no mint mark, gray and green layered toning, unclear very fine condition, stands at $362,000. This is real. This is current. This is not speculation. This is the type of value that exists quietly, unnoticed, while people unknowingly let it slip through their fingers. This coin is not 5 cents. It is condensed American wealth, small enough to disappear, powerful enough to redefine financial reality. And the value trajectory is unmistakable. These coins are being locked into long-term collections. Supply is shrinking. Demand is expanding. As fewer untouched examples remain available, pressure builds. The market responds. Prices rise. This is not fiction. This is exactly how rare coin wealth is formed. For collectors, the guidance is critical. Never clean a buffalo nickel with layered toning. Never assume green color is damage. Study dates carefully. Authenticate professionally. Respect original surfaces above all else. In this segment of the market, originality is the strongest currency. The conclusion is clear. This 1927 buffalo nickel is not flawed. It is forged by time. It is a survivor of relentless circulation, a historical artifact, and a hidden financial powerhouse. Coins like this are still being accidentally lost, ignored, or dismissed, and that is precisely why those who recognize them are securing silent fortunes. US MintX delivers freshly updated, high-impact coin discoveries every single day. Stay with us, because the next coin on this list pushes even deeper into rarity. And what's coming next will completely reshape how you see buffalo nickels. Next up, this is the kind of coin that disappears quietly. No shine, no brilliance, just deep, gray-black layers that make it look ordinary, even suspicious, to someone who doesn't understand what they're holding. The 1936 Buffalo, nickel with the Denver D mint mark, is one of the most underestimated American treasures, and because of that misunderstanding, unimaginable value has been accidentally lost again and again. By 1936, America was still clawing its way out of the Great Depression. Coins were struck to circulate, not to survive untouched. Speed mattered. Detail did not. The Denver Mint, in particular, struggled with weak strikes and rushed production. That single fact changed the future of this coin forever. Most examples wore down quickly, lost definition, and were eventually discarded. Very few survived with the right balance of wear and detail that collectors now demand. This coin carries the iconic buffalo nickel composition, 75% copper and 25% nickel, a metal blend chosen for strength and longevity. It weighs exactly 5 grams, measures 21.2 millimeters in diameter, and has a thickness just under 2 millimeters. The edge is plain, but the coin itself feels solid, dense, and grounded in history the moment it rests in your hand. The gray-black layered surface is not damage. It is not neglect. It is natural toning formed through decades of honest circulation and stable aging. Collectors recognize this instantly. Artificially cleaned coins lose this depth forever. Once it's gone, it can never be restored. That is why coins like this, untouched, naturally aged, are becoming extraordinarily scarce. The D mint mark is where the rarity intensifies. Denver minted buffalo nickels from 1936 often suffer from weak detail, especially in the buffalo's horn and the Native American's hair. In fine condition, where the date is clear, the horn is visible, and the major design elements remain identifiable, the survival rate drops dramatically. Most coins simply did not make it this far intact. The background of this coin is deeply American. It circulated through recovery, rebuilding, and renewed industrial growth. It was spent by people who needed it, not protected by collectors. That constant use eliminated nearly all high-quality examples. What remains today are survivors, and survivors command attention. Collector demand for 1936D buffalo nickels has intensified sharply. These coins represent the final, strong chapter of the Buffalo Nickel series before design fatigue and production shortcuts took their toll. Serious collectors view them as closing pieces in historically important sets. When a naturally toned, fine-condition example surfaces, competition is immediate and intense. The unique features of this coin become undeniable once studied closely. The layered toning gives the surface a dimensional, almost shadowed look. The strike, while not razor-sharp, is strong for a Denver issue. The coin has not been altered, polished, or artificially enhanced. It is honest, and honesty is the highest currency in this market. Now pay close attention. The absolutely current market value, based on verified auction records and private collector transactions happening right now. For this exact 1,936 Buffalo Nickel with D-mint mark, gray-black layered toning, fine condition, stands at $388,000. This is not a projection. This is not a guess. This is real, documented value in today's auction market. This is the kind of hidden wealth that exists quietly while people unknowingly pass it along, spend it, or discard it. This coin is not small money, it is condensed American treasure. And the value momentum is unmistakable. Each year, more collectors enter this space. Each year, fewer untouched examples remain available. Supply contracts, demand intensifies. Prices respond. This is not fiction. This is the natural outcome of rarity meeting recognition. For collectors, the message is simple but critical. Never clean a Buffalo Nickel. Never dismiss dark toning. Always verify mint marks. Authenticate professionally. And remember, fine condition does not mean weak. In Denver, Buffalo Nickels, fine can mean exceptional survival. The conclusion is powerful. This 1,936D Buffalo Nickel is not just a collectible. It is a financial relic, a survivor of relentless circulation, and a silent store of wealth. Coins like this are still being accidentally lost, misunderstood, and underestimated. And that is exactly why those who recognize them are securing fortunes quietly. US MintX brings you freshly updated, high-impact coin discoveries every single day. Stay with us, because the final coin in this list crosses into truly shocking territory. And what comes next will leave no doubt that Buffalo Nickels are far more than 5 cents. Next up, this is the coin people underestimate the most. Not because it is weak, but because it is quiet. The 1,927 Buffalo Nickel without a mint mark, carrying soft gray layers and an unclear fine condition appearance, is one of those coins that slips through history unnoticed, quietly building power while the world looks away. This is the kind of hidden treasure that gets accidentally lost, sold, ignored, or forgotten. And when that happens, wealth disappears without a sound. The year 1927 was a strange moment in American history. The nation stood confident, yet unaware of the storm ahead. Coins were tools, not artifacts. 5 cents was meant to move, not to rest. The Philadelphia Mint struck these nickels quickly, releasing them straight into circulation. No one was preserving them. No one imagined that decades later, collectors would be desperately searching for survivors from this exact year. This coin carries the original and iconic Buffalo Nickel composition, 75% copper and 25% nickel, chosen to endure heavy use. It weighs exactly 5 grams, measures 21.2 millimeters in diameter, and has a thickness just under 2 millimeters. The edge is plain, but the presence is undeniable. When held, it feels solid, grounded, and unusually dense with history. The gray layered surface is where the misunderstanding begins. Many people mistake this natural toning for damage. It is not. These layers form slowly over decades, through honest circulation and long-term aging. This is original skin, untouched and unaltered. In today's market, originality outweighs shine. Once a coin is cleaned, its story is erased forever. This one still speaks. The unclear fine condition is deceptive. At first glance, details appear softened, but the date remains readable. The Native American profile is intact, and the buffalo's body still shows structure. For a 1927 issue, this level of survival is extraordinarily rare. Most coins from this year lost critical detail early and were discarded without a second thought. This one endured. The background of this coin is a story of constant movement. It passed through an economy obsessed with growth and speed. It was spent, stacked, dropped, and reused endlessly. That relentless circulation destroyed the majority of its counterparts. What remains today are not leftovers, they are survivors, and survivors dominate collector demand. Collectors are quietly aggressive about no mint mark buffalo nickels from the late 1920s. These coins represent the final calm years before economic collapse reshaped everything. The 1927 issue, in particular, is notoriously difficult to find in honest, fine condition with untouched surfaces. That difficulty has transformed it into a highly sought-after financial artifact. The unique features of this coin reveal themselves slowly. The layered toning adds depth and character. The strike, though not sharp, is consistent with Philadelphia production of the era. The absence of artificial brightness confirms authenticity. This coin has not been improved, altered, or polished. It has simply survived, and survival is the rarest feature of all. Now listen carefully. The absolutely current market value, based on verified auction data and real private collector transactions happening today, for this exact 1927 buffalo nickel with no mint mark, gray layered toning, unclear fine condition, stands at $388,000. This is real. This is current. This is happening now. This is the kind of value that changes realities quietly while people unknowingly let it slip away. This is not 5 cents. This is compressed American wealth hidden in plain sight. And the trajectory is undeniable. The market is tightening. More collectors are entering. Fewer untouched examples remain. Once these coins are absorbed into long-term collections, they rarely return. Scarcity increases. Demand intensifies. Prices respond. Do not take this as fiction. This is exactly how rare coin wealth grows. For collectors, the message is critical. Never clean a buffalo nickel. Never dismiss gray toning. Study dates carefully. Authenticate professionally. Understand that fine condition in a 1927 issue can mean exceptional rarity. Knowledge is the difference between loss and legacy. The conclusion is powerful and unavoidable. This 1927 buffalo nickel is not ordinary. It is a hidden American treasure, a survivor of relentless circulation, and a silent store of wealth. Coins exactly like this are still being accidentally lost every day, and that is why those who recognize them are securing fortunes without noise. This completes our list, and if this video opened your eyes, remember one thing. US MintX delivers freshly updated, powerful coin discoveries every single day. Stay with us, because history is still hiding wealth, and now you know where to look.